Hello and welcome to another edition of the Parra Matters podcast via the Parra Pit. My name is Bernie and joined with me this week is Johnno. How you going, champion?
I'm good, Bernie. How you, mate?
Good, mate. I'm good. Barry is off killing kangaroos in the bush. I don't know what happened, but he hit a roo and he's off in the army killing things, and it's just part of the army life, I think.
He's having roo steaks for dinner tonight, I heard.
He's going to eat well. Well, he's the chef. Maybe he had to bring some meat. So
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Speaking of problems being solved, mate, I don't know. We kind of messaged during the week and just said, week in, week out, we're just smacking our head against this brick wall, which is the Jake Arthur conundrum. And there's no point doing it for another 40 minutes. I mean, we might as well move on. I'll
address it straight away. It actually makes sense this week because Mitch was questionable until I think he sees the independent doctor like today.
Yeah.
He seems pretty good, but Brad Arthur actually has every right to pick Jake this week because
yes and no. I think that when Jake came on, he had 20 minutes of game time. Now, the whole reason Jake's there is to cover Mitch in case Mitch gets injured. Mitch got injured. Now, in those 20 minutes, Jake was not up to first grade standard. Now, once again, I'm not ragging the bloody kid. He's a kid. He's an eel. He works hard. He's going to be a good player, but it was too fast for him. He kicked out on the full. They ran past him a couple of times for tries. We were, in no way did he cost us the game. But what's the point of having him there if when Mitch goes down, he can't lead us forward? And he can't. I mean, it's too much to ask. So we might as well have another forward on the bench so that Mitch doesn't get injured. I mean, maybe Mitch got injured because he was tackling too many forwards. He got the knee.
It looked like he slipped before kick out got to him.
Yeah, right. I didn't notice that.
People say it was poor tackling technique, but from what I remember, I haven't watched the game back, and I won't be in any hurry to watch the game back. It looked like he stepped as Kickout stepped, and he sort of slipped and fell. But but you're right, and you've already hit the nail on the head well before this happened. If Mitch or Dylan are off the field and Jake is on the field, our premiership push is over anyway.
It's gone. I mean, we can't, and it's no slight on Jake Arthur. I mean, you can't. No one can fill Mitch's shoes. He's so pivotal to us winning. Like, he needs to be there. And it would be just like JT going down for the Cowboys. I mean, they're going to struggle to win without him. We're going to struggle to win. If Mitchie goes down, it's game over. But I'd rather have some help for the forwards rotating the bench. Mate, we're so close. We're so bloody close to this thing. We're with 3 games from winning a grand final. We're 2 games from being in a grand final. Dude, that's insane. Like, we've been trying to do this for 36 years. We're so close. And I just see an extra forward on the bench or a utility. I mean, heaven forbid Cartwright gets a bloody run. If he could just somehow, I mean, okay, I honestly think we're going to beat Canberra regardless. I think we'll beat them with one man down. And when I say one man down, I mean Jake on the bench.
Jake not playing. Not playing.
He'll do 5 minutes, and I think Mitch will play the whole thing. Now, if Mitch can't play, you can have Jake, he can be 21 or something. Like, he doesn't have to be in the top 17. So I think BA's got every intention of playing him. We're going to have to move on because, like I said, I could talk about this for 40 minutes and it just boils my blood because we've been waiting so long for this premiership, and I just see it as a wasted opportunity. And so does everyone. 90% of the fans are questioning. Like, let's move on. We'll move on to the other question, which is Wonga Blake. Now, he had a shocker, but
he did.
I don't know who would have been able to catch those bombs. What annoyed me the most, it wasn't Wonga dropping the balls, because those things were swirling around. There was a big breeze at Penrith. He nailed them. It was the fact that we didn't put any pressure on Cleary. We gave him plenty of time to put those bombs up. Yep. Second, after he dropped the first one, it was obvious he wasn't going to be able to catch the bloody things. BA should have got a message down to him and say, just let it bounce. I know it's a sin to let the ball bounce, but
yeah, it is.
From where they were, we would have been better off the ball bouncing and either going back into, let's say Penrith get the ball back and then we tackle them and then we get the ball back. Better off than knocking the ball on, or get word out to him to try to catch the balls with his back to the opposition try line, to our try line. So it's good. Well, back to the offense. So basically, if he does knock it on, it goes backwards.
Try and knock it backwards. Yeah, try and knock it backwards in the air. Yes.
Or Gutho says, look, I'll jump in and I'll take these. There was no plan B for Wonga under those swirling balls. He dropped 4 of them, mate. There was no plan to help him out. I mean, he was struggling. And I don't like that. I don't like that there was no plan to help him out. I'm not talking about taking him off. Get the message out. Wonga, let it bounce. Okay, next one, just let it bounce. See what happens, you know. And or Gutho, the captain, coming in. Mate, I got this next one. And him covering, you know. And I know that Cleary's very cluey. And he caught Gutho out once as soon as he saw him running over to the wing to cover, and he kicked back on the inside. But that wasn't a bomb. That was something different. Your thoughts on Wonga? Do we keep him in the team if we play Penrith again in the grand final? Is Wonga Blake in your team?
Yes, he is.
Same.
He doesn't leave the team. He doesn't. Yeah,
agree.
Look, what happened was a perfect storm.
Yep.
You had a rested, pissed off Nathan Cleary that just happened to have a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah,
like that's probably his best kicking performance of the year, bar none.
And it was swirling breezes. That breeze was swirling, you know.
That Penrith Stadium, we've been there. It's really open.
It's very
really
open. Yep.
Which means, those big gum trees in the background, they sway, man.
Yep.
And if those gum trees are swaying, mate, that ball's swaying too. Like it's a very open stadium. Combank, you'll get reprieve because the roof's high.
Yeah.
Penrith Stadium, it's not. So, and Cleary figured that out early.
Yep.
And the thing is, when you drop one bomb, the first seed of doubt is planted, and then you'll drop another one. And it's not that you can't catch bombs, it's just that you'll second guess yourself every time it goes up.
And they were monster kicks.
Cleary, they were monster kicks in swirling conditions.
Yeah.
They were Cleary specials, Cleary was in special form.
Yeah.
And Wonga and poor Wonga, man, because it's just one of those nights where it just doesn't go right. And I'm sure BA's got him under Mitch bombs all week at training now. I guarantee
Mitch's bombs don't swirl, though. I mean, they end on end. I mean, Mitch needs to learn to do those bombs. They're such a powerful thing, but he's not going to be able to learn them in the next few weeks. I mean, he's going to learn them for next year.
We needed to recruit Matty Burton across and get him to put a couple down his throat. Because
mate, there were so many guys floating around who are guns like Matty Burton. How come we couldn't sign Matty Burton? I mean, how come we can't get these guys? He went to the Bulldogs, for fuck's sake. I mean, you know, they came almost last. I mean, our retention is shit and getting new players is shit.
Yeah, well, we haven't really filled many holes, have we? What have we got? Jermaine Hopgood and
he was good.
And
I saw him in what game did he play in? It was
it would have been a cup final. It would have been New South Wales Cup, wouldn't it?
No. Who does he play for? I forgot. Is it Brisbane he plays for?
Penrith.
It's Penrith he plays for. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was the game they rested their entire team. So it was the game before us. They played him for the entire game. He's on report. he's a
good on him.
He's a beast. He reminds me of a young Nathan Brown. He's got an engine on him. He's got a hot head. I think he's a great signing. So I'm really excited about him.
I was talking to my Courier mate. He's mad Penrith fan, so we've had some running battles over this year.
Yeah, nice one.
He was actually gutted to lose Jermaine Hopgood. He's like, you guys picked up a good one. I've been watching him since juniors, like Jersey
Yeah.
Flag, and he's got talent. So,
Yeah.
we've picked up at least one outside back to cover for Nakore and Iceman leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is coming through. I mean, like I said, that's the chance for Maka to come up, for Ogden to come up,
Yeah.
for Weremu Greg to come up. There's going to be at least gaps next season for these boys to come up because, they're junior development players and there's no point spending money when you don't need to.
No.
Or maybe there is, but yeah.
Well,
So, all these boys, all these fringe players will get a shot next year, which at least you can sort of be excited for.
yeah. If we lose against the Raiders, surely that's the end of BA. I mean, I don't see how he bounces back from 2 losses in finals, top 4, and we lose again. To Penrith, fair enough, but to the Raiders, I mean, we should run over the top of them. I think that we run over the top of them and then we bow out to the Cowboys. We're going to struggle to beat the Cowboys in Townsville with Jake Arthur on the bench up against their team, which is running super smooth. I mean, it does look like it's going to be a Cowboys Penrith grand final, but it'd be very nice if we could spoil the party and get in there. And what are your thoughts on Penrith versus the Bunnies? They're playing the Bunnies, aren't they? Are they?
They will play the Bunnies if the Bunnies beat the Sharks.
Sorry, I forgot about the Sharks. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's right. They get next week off. Bunnies versus the Sharks. I'm fine with playing the Sharks. I don't want to play the Bunnies, but I think maybe the Bunnies have got a better chance of beating Penrith. So, yeah, I don't know.
They've got a better chance of bashing Penrith up.
Yeah, they do. Well, they beat the crap out of the Roosters. I mean, they had that was a vicious fight. It wasn't a game of football. It was a fight. 7 sin bins. Yeah, it was a great game to watch as a non-fan of either team, just to watch, for a spectacle. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah. Cowboys winning. They scored in the last second of the game. I mean, they barely scraped through. They're a good team though, and I don't know, the Sharkies. They're hot and cold. I think they're the same as us. I think they can run really hot, or they can be average. Whereas we can run really hot or be cold. So I don't see the Raiders going any further. I think we're going to full stop them on Friday. I hope so. Anyway, we should. There's no reason why we shouldn't beat the Raiders. Even disclaimer with Jakey on the bench.
At our best, we got them. Look, I'm keen for the battle. I'm keen for Tarpany and Papali'i versus Paulo and Reg.
Yeah.
But I think we've got the talent advantage. I think, Gutho's more talented than Charles Nickel-Klogstad. Fogarty's good, but he's no Mitch Moses. They've got good players across the park, but we've got better ones.
They've got Jack Whiten, who is a fantastic player, and he has.
Yeah, but Dylan Brown's probably his equal.
Now, Dylan went missing in the last game. I mean, you can't sugarcoat that. When Mitch goes off the field, I want to see Dillbags grabbing the reins and saying, "I've got this, fellas." I don't want him saying, "Okay, Jake's here, off you go." That's not the way it should be. It should be Dylan running the team and Jake helping him out. And that's for Jake's sake as well. That's the way it should be. And he didn't do that. He went missing in that game. I don't know why. I don't know if our forwards, it just seems to be RCG and Junior versus the rest of the forward pack. We don't really seem to have, they don't seem to have any help at the moment. I know they've got Iceman and Maddo in there, and Sean Lane was a bit quiet, but the whole team, I think the team played really well for 60 minutes. I was happy with the way they were playing, in all honesty. Panthers were just getting on the top of us. And if Mitchie doesn't go down and we had another forward on the bench, you don't know how that game would have ended, but we'll move on because, like I said, I'm starting to go down that that rabbit hole again, which is super frustrating. But
we keep circling back to it, eh?
It's such a pivotal point. It is such a pivotal point. I would love for us to just be talking about footy strategy and that and where we're going to attack the Raiders. But, with our forwards gassing because they don't have an extra forward in rotation, it's a massive, massive thing. Another thing I wanted to bring up with you was Penrith's tackling style. They seem to be dragging us backwards. Like they got us on the ground and would start dragging us, and the referee was allowing it. Now, I saw some statistics on the game afterwards, and our play the ball was like a good 1 second slower than their play the ball. They were like super fast, and they were holding us down and dragging us. It was a new thing. I have seen a few other teams do it, but it seems to be a new thing that's Penrith becoming the new Melbourne with their wrestling tactics and everything, but it worked.
The Parramatta's podcast. Find us on Facebook.
So, mate, continuing on from where we were with talking about the Penrith defence. So what I think they're doing is they're going in with two men and one guy's lifting the leg and they're pushing back, or they'll go in with three, get the guy down, and they'll start dragging him backwards. They're definitely at the initial contact is a contact, grab, wrestle momentum, get them to the ground, start to drag them back. That's like 3 seconds. It doesn't sound like much, but we were like hitting them down, up, play the ball, down, up, play the ball. Like we have to slow. If we play Penrith again, we need to slow them down. We need to put pressure on Cleary. If to play the Cowboys, I think is, we're going to really struggle to beat them up there. I think they're a really good team. The Cowboys, they're a good unit. Like obviously Valentine Holmes stands out as a superstar, but they've got a lot of other players, Cotter and that just real workhorses, and they're a good unit. So we're going to struggle to beat them up there, even if we do get past Raiders, and I think we will. So your thoughts on the Raiders game coming up, mate? You think we'll get past them?
Yeah, I think across the board we've got the talent to do it. Tarpane and Papali'i are a good forward pairing, but Junior and Reg are better. I think Reedy's the more dynamic hooker.
Reed's been playing well the last few weeks. I think Reed has upped his game. Yep. He's
found form. Fogarty's good and Whiten's dangerous, but Mitch is probably on par with Whiten, probably better than Whiten actually at the moment. And I think Dillbags easily covers Jamal Fogarty.
Yeah.
They got Charles Nickel-Klogstad. Gutho's in a great touch. He's in season best form the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like he's really kicked on. Like you can tell he's
Chance playing. I don't even know if Chance is playing, is he?
Yeah, I believe he is. I read an article about him today, so I assume he's playing.
He was out. Anyway, all right. Well, he hasn't been. He's definitely not in form. They've got Nick Kotrick, who's he's a violent player. I think he's a good player. He's a very strong runner of the ball. So well, I think our defense has been brilliant, by the way. I need to say, bring out some positives. We started to do more of a sliding defense, and I think that we have not been letting points in. I mean, we let a few in. They went down the middle. Once again, they went through Jake, but they were putting some pressure on us anyway with all those drop bombs. But our defense, I'm happy with. I'm happy with our defense. I'm pretty happy with our offense, although against Panthers, for some reason, we started doing one-off football again. Like, we were never going to beat them. I was all right settling into the game. Like, let's give it 10 minutes before we get too crazy. But I think we needed to throw the ball around a bit more to get through their defense.
Yeah, I think we did too. We started to, and then we went away from it. And I don't know what the catalyst to that was. I mean, and the buzzword I've heard all week was, even though we lost the game, was until Mitch came off 60 minutes into that contest, we were right with the Panthers.
There's only 5 points in it. When he, 5 points within 20 minutes
to go. It was 13 to 8. It was 13 to 8 when Mitch came off.
Yeah.
And the final score was 27-8. So they only scored, what, 2 more tries?
Yeah.
3 more tries, maybe at the end.
3 out of, yeah.
Yeah, they did what they had to do, Penrith, to get us. But
Yeah.
I think for what we showed for that first 60 minutes, if we do somehow face them again in the grand final,
Yeah.
man, the confidence will be there. The confidence will be there. Just stick to what you did. Maybe expand it a bit more. Like there needed to be more offloads. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But stick to what brought us to the dance, the power game and the second phase play.
Yeah.
And we'll knock off both teams. We'll knock off Canberra.
Yeah.
Like we will Parramatta at their best in front of 30,000 sellout at CommBank, which it should be. It better
will
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pack that stadium out.
Yeah.
That all that momentum, all that fan momentum, all that adrenaline, the SIVO chants, the pyro, all that excitement. That'll be enough to drive us home against Canberra.
Mm.
And then going up north against the Cowboys, look, it's getting rather warm up here. It's mid-20s already here in Mackay.
Yeah.
I know it's probably slightly warmer in Townsville. The Cowboys grow an extra leg. Valentine Holmes grows an extra 3 legs when he plays in front of the Townsville crowd, and that's going to be sold out.
Yeah.
That's going to be 30,000 Cowboys fans on the flip side. But that Cowboys team conceded 30 points to the Sharks and made a lot of errors.
Yeah.
If that Cowboys team concedes 30 points to us,
Yeah.
they're not winning the game. We're not the Sharks.
No, but they did give us an absolute flogging when we played them up in Darwin this year. They're going to have a lot of confidence from that. They're going to have a lot of confidence from their home ground advantage. And let's say we get past the Cowboys. I think we just need to play our normal game against the Cowboys and we can beat them. It's going to be a tough game. But then we move into the grand final. I'd rather obviously be playing the Sharks or someone like that in the grand final, not the Bunnies. I don't really want to play Penrith in the grand final. I think I'm just a bit concerned that we'll play Wonga and they'll just start putting up the bombs again, and BA won't have a plan in place to counteract that. He's not going to have a plan to counteract their fast ruck speed. He's not going to have a plan to counteract them dragging us along the ground on our asses. He seems to turn up with we're going to worry about our own game plan, not worry about theirs. And I think that's wrong. I think you definitely need to have a game plan. I'm sure he does, but it just seems
he'll have a game plan. Look, we've got plenty of tape to look back over. We beat them twice in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see if the ball swirls around inside Accor Stadium the way it does, putting it up over the gum trees at Penrith Park. I think
it won't. No,
it won't swirl as much.
No,
but Wonga will still be the target because there's no point bombing it to. Mike has got butterfingers in him sometimes too, and Gutho put down a few sitters this season. But I think on the big day, on the big stage, players do special things at special times. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good to think that far ahead, but I think we get Canberra.
Yeah,
and then Cowboys are going to be the challenge. But Parramatta, at their best, beat the Cowboys too.
I'm going to throw.
We will have to be at our best.
I'm going to throw a name at you, Bailey Simonson.
Yeah. I saw his name today too.
What is the thought process behind him?
I completely forgot about him.
Me too, and he's so easy.
He was so great.
He was so good, and he's got heart, and our defense is better without him in the team. I think him once again, not his fault. It's just the combinations didn't seem to work. Tom and Wonga seem to work well together. So I would leave them like that. But do you bring Bailey in? I don't know how many positions he covers. Do you contemplate putting him on the bench to come in at centre or something in case the centre or a winger goes down? He's played some fullback before. He covers a lot of positions. I think he'd be a great utility. And Sean Russell. I mean, what did the kid do wrong? The kid had broken bones for Parramatta, and we reward him by just forgetting about him. Like he scored 3 tries, was it? And got cops illegal knees to the ribs, broken bones. Wasn't even a penalty, but anyway.
Yeah, that was crap.
And then we just kind of sweep the kid under the rug. Like
the problem is because this team, or Parramatta, are in such good form at the moment, minus the last 20 minutes of the Panthers game. You know,
I just don't think
they
that
haven't been. They haven't been in our system. Like they haven't been making the players. They're not, match fit per se.
Yeah.
They haven't been out there with the boys, gelling and making. Wonga just had a bad day. Like,
Oh,
we're bringing a
100%.
lot of heat.
I'm a
We're
massive
bringing a lot
Wonga
of heat on
fan. I think
Wonga.
he's really good.
He's been pretty good at winger. Like
He's been excellent.
He just copped a 10 out of 10 kicking display from a fired up Nathan Cleary at a swirling open Penrith Stadium.
Yeah.
He just had a bad day. He had one bad day. See how he goes against Canberra, because they'll target him too.
If he's spooked, he might lose spot. But
if he's spooked, you'd start thinking about maybe bringing Bailey in, back into the fold.
I think that disrupts our defense. I just think there's so many better options on the bench than Jake. Once again, come full circle. But I do need to raise the point that Jake has not been playing halfback all year. Like, he hasn't been playing Reggie's, has he? I don't know if he's been actually, like, if he plays 5 minutes for us, he can't then go and play for them, can he? Like, he hasn't been nicking off him, because I had a look and I saw it was only on Wikipedia, to be fair, but it was like it said that he had been playing 80-minute games for reserve. I'm like, he's not bloody playing. And because that's one of my biggest gripes, is that he's not learning how to be a halfback. He already missed a year of becoming a halfback with COVID when their whole competition was called off. He wasn't playing for us. Now this year he hasn't been playing halfback. He's been coming on playing 10 minutes at hooker. And all of a sudden our halfback goes down. We need a halfback, and we throw in a 19-year-old kid who hasn't been playing halfback all year. And it showed. He kicked the ball out on the full, and he just looked like he was 1 second off the pace. Now, not going to start bashing him, but that is not going to win us a grand final. Having a backup 19-year-old halfback who hasn't been playing halfback. If your justification is Mitch is hurt, we need a halfback, he should have been in Reggie's all year playing halfback and come in like that and be like, okay, I've been playing halfback. Oh yeah, I'm good to go, boys. And we would have supported him. But I just think on that bench spot, obviously you got Cartwright, who should be there. I think Bailey would be a better option on the bench because he runs really hard. Like he comes on. Hard. He comes on with 20 minutes to go. He's going to be hitting the hole hard. And they say his defense, and they say the same thing about Cartwright, that their defense is a bit suspect. But it's always a problem when you throw someone into a role that they, haven't been playing all year. But Jake's defense was horrible on the weekend. I would just rather that bench got better someone else.
It's too late in the year for Jakey, man. Like, the game's too fast now. It's so too much of a risk.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you're playing Penrith, but you're playing finals Penrith, where every mistake is punished. Every mistake from here on in is punished. Jake can't afford to kick out on the full.
No, it costs us points. He can't afford to miss tackles.
And he's going up against teams that if they lose, their season is over.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 2 seconds to kick the ball now. He has one.
No. Yeah, exactly.
They come at you harder. They hit you harder. They're more desperate.
The grand final is like an Origin game. It's just going to be so fast. And he hasn't been. And the thing is, Bailey's not playing. I don't know if he's playing. I know he got injured. I know he's playing reserve, so hopefully his fitness is up. But I don't know where Sean's at. I don't know. There's a lot of.
I know Sean was coming back from injury. I know Hayes Dunster is running again.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear for next year, not for this year.
The Parra Matters podcast for Eels fans everywhere.
Once again, there's a lot of questionable decisions being made, but we're so close to winning a grand final with 3 games. If we win the next 3
Yep.
games, we win the grand final. That's that simple. And not only that, I'm pretty confident we're going to run over the Raiders. So, touch wood, it's not a gimme, but our team is very powerful at the moment. And we are on par with Penrith, regardless of what happened the other week. We're going to struggle against the Cowboys, but we're up for it. On our heyday, we can beat anyone.
Yeah.
We're so close, man. And I just don't want to lose it because our forwards get tired because they don't get rotated. And I don't want to lose by bloody 2 points because,
something dumb happens. Yeah.
If your team is not as good as the opposition and you lose, you eat it. And it's like, well done, boys. And you support them. And that's what we've always done. We've always supported them if we were not the stronger team. But I think we're a stronger team than everyone left in the competition. I really think that we have the ability just to run over the top of teams. And
you're right.
Yeah. So
on our best day, we beat Canberra. On our best day, we beat the Cowboys. And on our best day, we're on par with the Panthers. So it's within touching distance, but it needs a lot to go right. And
I actually think the only hurdle is the Cowboys. I think if we play the Sharkies, I think we beat them, even though, they beat us by 1 point. Mitch had a kick to win the game for us, but I know they're a different team. We're a different team. But I think that if we can, Souths is always a problem for us for some reason.
Yeah.
We get to the grand final. If we get past the Cowboys, whoever we're opposite, I'm confident we can roll them in the grand final. To me, where we're at the moment is beating the Cowboys in Townsville. That's the hurdle.
That's the big one. I think we get past Canberra.
Yep.
We get past Canberra, and then we have to get past the Cowboys. Will be if we win that game. Holy shit!
We get into the grand final, brother. If we get into the grand final, it's bloody gloves off, mate. It's anyone's. It's gloves off because we know on our day, if things start clicking for us, no one's going to stop us. I don't care who we're playing. If things start clicking for our offense, good luck trying to stop it. Like we get massive momentum, and I don't think we're going to be gun shy with the grand final. I think the players are perfect level of experience, perfect level of youth, perfect level of everything. I'm just really confident that we're going to get to the semi-final against the Cowboys. And if we get to the grand final, I'm confident we're going to win. So, big games coming up, mate. It's when you think about it, at the end of the day, if someone said to you a couple of years ago, in 2022, you only have to beat the Raiders, the Cowboys, and Penrith to win a grand final. Geez, you'd take that bet, wouldn't you? You'd be like, historically,
you're
Raiders
quietly
and Cowboys.
Confident you can beat.
Man.
I mean, quietly confident you can definitely beat. You can beat 2 of them. You can beat Canberra and you can beat the Cowboys.
Yep.
Penrith, we're every bit as good as Penrith, despite the scoreline.
We are, but they do have the experience of winning last year and then losing the year before. They got a lot of grand final experience. Jeez, it's going to be hard.
We've got the pain of losing to them in the semis, man. Like Junior Paulo said preseason, he washed it back 20 times.
Yeah.
Do you think in the last 10 minutes of a granny,
Junior's
taking that hit up on the line and he's thinking of it.
Yeah.
And he's hungry and he's got to use that pain as momentum.
Yeah.
Like, we're so close.
Dude,
we're so close.
I can taste it. And that's why the only weakness in the team is that bench rotation. At the moment, I think Wonga's going to sort himself out, especially against the other teams. But if he plays against Penrith, he'll sort himself out. And it's just that bench rotation. I just wish we had another forward or a proper utility to stick on the bench. And we're going to come so close. Anyway, we'll see what happens, man. But exciting times. Are you and Barry watching the game together? Is that the plan for you guys?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. We'll find a pub somewhere.
Scraping the dead kangaroo off his army truck and
The kangaroo meat is coming off the grill as we speak.
And see if he brings some food for you, mate. He'll provide the burgers, you provide the beers, and
Easy.
yeah. Well, all right, mate. Well, we'll come together next week. I think we've decided that once we're out of the competition, we'll take a bit of a breather from doing the podcast just to regroup, as we always do at the end of a season. So we'll hopefully this isn't our last podcast of the year, mate. Hopefully we can be back next week talking about the fantastic victory against the Raiders and devising a game plan to take on those Cowgirls, mate.
That's it, mate. Look, fingers crossed. Exciting times ahead, mate. I'm quietly confident we get it done.
Me too, man. Me too. All right, brother. We'll leave it there then, and we'll get ready for the big game on Friday night and chat next week. And as we always say, mate, click go the Eels.
Click go the Eels.